Welcome to Women with Drive, a show by the Deakin Melbourne Boomers, talking all things Aussie women's hoops. Hosted by Boomers' own Lou Brown. Women with Drive.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Women with Drive, presented by the Deakin Melbourne Boomers and proudly supported by Sukin. I'm your host, Lou Brown, and tonight we have part 2 of our very special interview between Michele Timm and Guy Molloy on his final season here with the Melbourne Boomers. But first, I will be having the wonderful Tess Madgen here in the studio, where we'll be breaking down our first 2 games against Bendigo and Southside, and also she'll be catching us up on a couple of things to look forward to about the Boomers Academy.
Women with Drive.
Tess, thank you so much for being back in the studio with me. I'm so glad to have you here.
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for having me back.
Now, we're going to talk to you today a bit about the 2 games that we had. I can't believe I'm saying that. It feels like we went pre-season. It's just rolled right into season before our eyes. Obviously, we played Bendigo last Wednesday. We unfortunately lost the game, but then we responded pretty well on Saturday against Southside and came up with a really strong win. But first, let's just talk Bendigo. Immediately, what do you think was some of the things that probably went wrong in that game for us?
I think a lot of the team said it when they played in that first week was just being nervous. It's the first time we've played in front of crowds in a really long time, which was amazing. But, you know, I got to play in front of my family, my friends, and a lot of us did. And I think, you know, just that nervous energy kind of really took a hold of us, and we weren't really ever able to get into a flow and, you know, kind of get that positive energy flowing within the group. It did feel like a very big grind a lot of the time. I think we can definitely hang our hats on our defence. They only scored 63 points. I know Guy's currently reviewing our defence and he's not happy about it, but I think it was pretty good for the most part. So I just think, you know, and we didn't shoot the 3 ball well. So they were really able to collapse in the keyway and make it a bit tougher for our posts. And then, you know, we have a lot of penetrating guards as well, and we couldn't really get in there and generate some good inside-outside looks. So everything just felt a little bit tough.
No, absolutely. And it's always hard. You know, we didn't shoot the ball well. I think we went 1 from 19, 1 from 20 from the 3-point line. And then you lose a game by 5 and you look back and you think, okay, you hit 2 more shots and that's a win.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, just let's look now. We're moving ahead now. Let's look at some of the key statistics for the game. Obviously, I know we've got Southside again this Saturday, but we've got Bendigo again on Sunday. So just for the purpose of the show, looking ahead, what do you think are some of the things we'll need to take care of to get the win against Bendigo?
Yeah, I think Guy did an amazing job getting us ready for that Southside game. He went through a lot of different offensive looks, you know, within one day, and we were able to execute that, which was amazing from a coaching point of view as well as the playing group. So I think we just kind of need to build on that, generate our energy from defence, which was really good. We stuck to the game plan really well against Southside. Yeah. We need to do that again against Bendigo, and then keep getting through our sets. There's great looks in our offence for every single player out on the court. You know, from 1 through to 10, everyone has different strengths, and I think our offences can get anyone a great look at any time. So yeah, keep playing as a team on executing the game plan on offence and defence, and fix our 3-point shooting, hopefully, and, you know, get some really, really great looks inside and then get our outside game flowing, and I think we'll be good. Yeah,
and I think you mentioned it just before as well, talked about it was hard to get our positive energy flowing, but things like that, you kind of think, okay, maybe you look at it, positive energy, our shooting, rhythm, it was very contagious.
Yeah, it was.
It was, so, you know, hopefully get in there, knock down our first shot and just get the ball rolling from there as well. But we're looking at, you know, Annalie Maley had a double-double, which she looked, you know, phenomenal. She's just relentless. But what do you think we'll have to do to kind of take care of her on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, she reads the ball really well. She's a great rebounder. So I think it's not just a one-on-one contest when Annalie's out on the court. We need to gang rebound and we need to hang around till we've got the ball and then get out and run. And I think LA did a great job in controlling the tempo against Southside, and I think that went a massive way to the win. So I'm sure she'll come out there, control the tempo, and yeah, we need a gang rebound. Kayla's a bit on her own, 19 rebounds. She did a phenomenal job, but we really need to try and back her up and get a couple of other people up there in the rebound.
Yeah, absolutely. But now Bendigo's behind us. We then came out against Southside on Saturday, and I think one thing you always say about a team, a great team, is it's not what happened, but it's how they respond. Yeah. And I think we really responded on Saturday. So let's just, look, you mentioned it, we executed on both ends of the floor, but what was it like playing at the state the state hockey and netball centre, no longer the state basketball centre, and be able to be out in front of the crowd like that again?
It was amazing. I think, there was a great energy. You could just feel it right from the get-go. Yeah. The crowd was amazing. It was very loud. It was, the spectacle that the front office staff have been able to put on for game day was really great. And it just created a great vibe in there. And then, you come out, Tiff was absolutely amazing at the beginning of the game. Very inspiring. She was making a lot of really huge plays. So I think that got our energy going. LA, like I said before, she really led from the front. And I think just all five of us that started just really did our job well, and we felt very connected and on the same page, which is exactly how we need to start every game if we're going to have a successful season.
No, absolutely, and just especially with the five of you guys, it's at any point, at any night, anyone can go off. Yeah, and I think that's what makes us one of the most dangerous teams in the leagues as well. It's just like you try to cover yourself or Tiff, but you also got to try to worry about Ezzy and Kayla and LA going off as well. Yeah. So I think that's one of the most exciting things about our team. Yeah,
and I mean LA, Tiff, and I all scored 20 plus points on the weekend, and then you're like, well, if one of us don't score, Kayla and Ezzy can easily score 20 to 30 points. So like you said, if you shut down one of us, I think the next player's just got to be ready to step up. And no doubt, I think the way we were able to score a lot of points as well is all the stuff that the bigs do, and they're the two best bigs in the league, so they're going to be very heavily defended. Yeah. But yeah, it's great to have, five players, anyone that subs out and comes in, everyone can score. Everyone knows their role, plays great defense, and that was just really great to see on the weekend.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun for sure. Yeah. But just talking about Southside a little bit, they're going to come out and have a little bit of edge against us now. So what do you think, looking ahead on Saturday, some of the things we're going to have to take care of in order to ensure we get this win against them?
Yeah, I think Guy's done a really great job in changing our pick and roll schemes and making it really hard. There's much more accountability now, one-on-one within the pick and roll. If a guard gets scored on, it's their fault. If a big gets scored on, it's their fault. So you really know whose fault it is.
He's not afraid of holding you all accountable.
Yeah, which is a good thing, I think. I think it's really, definitely put the onus on me to work a lot harder on defense, which is probably a good thing. But yeah, I think that'll definitely go a long way in winning the game again. Is Maddie Rocci for a while there was playing off the pick and roll really well, and all of their players have the ability to do that. So I think we just need to stay really locked into that. Obviously, they'll make some adjustments to their game plan. I would imagine they would want to defend the guards a little bit differently, like 64 points collectively between us isn't ideal.
We'll just move ahead here to stats and look at that because it's pretty impressive. LA 22, Mitchell 22, and then yourself 20 points.
Yeah, so they're going to have to do something to change that. But then, like I said, good luck then defending Ezzy and Kayla how you want to.
Exactly,
you can't defend us all. So...
but you're just looking now, not watching the game, but you're looking at a stat sheet and you look at, okay, so our guards went off, but Kayla as well, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, leading the team in that to show that, okay, maybe she didn't score the most points. I think she probably was still in double figures anyway. Yeah. But just being able to have such an impact in every aspect of the game is...
Yeah, that's a great point, Lee. She was definitely played a very good captain's game. And, she held Jenna. I think she guarded Jenna really well in that game as well. Absolutely. So... we definitely need to be ready for them to come out with a different type of energy, probably more how they came out in the second half. Mm-hmm. So we really have to bring it. They're definitely going to be up in the lanes trying to take us out of our stuff. Yeah. Our bigs are the feeders, so they'll be up and pressuring that. But, we practice counters for that all the time. So I think as the games go by, we're going to see, more counters, different stuff and ways to combat all types of defense, which is really exciting. And one of the reasons I do love being coached by Guy is that we're so well prepared for whatever any team throws at us and whatever defense comes out.
His attention to detail is second to none for a coach.
Yeah.
Absolutely, he doesn't miss a beat. That's for sure. But just for our viewers now as well, so we play Southside at Dandenong at 5 p.m. and then we're off to Bendigo for a doubleheader this weekend, 7 p.m. in Bendigo. So if you can't catch those games, you can watch them on KO as well, all live and streamed there. But looking ahead now as well, Bendigo, as I said, then we're in after Sydney the following week. So you're looking forward to get on the road?
Yeah,
out of the state.
I am a little bit. It's going to be a hectic, we play 3 games in 5 days or something, so it's a bit like the hub last season. We're going to be prepared. I have no doubt that we'll be prepared to go in there, tackle Southside and Bendigo, and then have a new look at Sydney, which I'm really excited. They're quite a young team, play very fast-paced type of game, so I think that'll also be a big challenge. Yeah,
and also we're going to go Adelaide, in Adelaide as well, and then again we're versing Canberra in the Gippsland. So how do you feel about getting back into Gippsland as well?
Yeah, great. I think we have a great connection with the community there. There's a lot of great talent, basketball talent, and I don't know why they made us play Jade Melbourne in Gippsland. I think the crowd's going to be pretty even. So I think that'll be a great atmosphere. Jade's a great player from the area, so it'll be great for the young boys and girls there to see one of their own playing in the WNBL.
Yeah, so everyone just make sure you are staying up to date, and if you miss any of this, the full fixture is online. You can catch it on our social medias at melbourneboomers.com.au. Now as well, moving on, Tess, let's talk a little bit about the Boomers Academy, just kind of where you're at with that and anything to look forward to.
Yeah, so we have some camps coming up in the holidays with a change of WNBL's schedule a couple of times. We're still trying to work through what works best, but there will be some, so stay tuned for that. And then we're in the testing phase of the online academy, so it's just getting tested by a couple of young aspiring basketball boys and girls just to see if we can improve it in any way. But that's a super exciting piece that's coming out just to help young people out there learn the fundamentals of basketball, and they can go back and practice. It's a really, really great initiative that Christy and Tony have come up with, and our amazing videographer Adam put together. So really looking forward to that coming out. Keep your eyes peeled as well for the holiday camps. We'll have myself down there and 3 of my amazing teammates to run everyone through their paces, and hopefully obviously have a lot of fun and learn something new. It's also a great way you get first-hand experience of meeting. We can't interact with fans after the games, which I really I hate it. But you can meet us there, you can talk to us and learn from the very best female basketballers and role models. I think the Melbourne Boomers definitely have some of the best role models within the community and within the sport, and you can meet them up close and personal, which is something that makes me the most proud of the program.
No, that's awesome. But last but not least as well, so we're always trying to be your best on the court, but I just wanted to ask you specifically, what do you do off the court in a journey to better?
Great question. I love Pilates, so I do that, but I also write down 3 things I'm grateful for every morning to try and put me in a grateful, happy mind frame, because I think, in this day and age you can be too worried about what you don't have, or how hard life can be sometimes. But if you wake up with that great mindset every day, it really does help you have a great day. Every day is a great day to have a great day, Lou. So that helps me. And of course, walking my dog 2 times a day really helps me stay fresh mentally.
Oh, I love that. All good things. But thank you so much for joining me, Tess. It's been awesome.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you.
And we will be back right after the break. And now we have part 2 of the interview between Michele Timm and Guy Molloy.
It's been phenomenal, and you've coached the best of the best in Australia and had some wonderful imports, and it's probably a little bit throw this at you right now, but if you had to pick your best 5, could you do that, or is that just too hard because you're coaching probably some of them now?
That is hard. Never thought about that one.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at...
You've coached some amazing, some huge Australian talent.
Yeah. Right. And I've been very fortunate in this club to do so. And I just, like you, I just love the heart and soul club people.
Yeah.
Like, you can get the players with real talent and you let them go and you just look at it and go, fantastic athletes and all that kind of thing. But we've had so many people that have just been heart and soul club people.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get a mix, and I think it's the mixer ones that I really like. So, for example, Tess Madgen would be a great mix. She's an opal. She's been to an Olympics. She's been to a World Cup. But she's just everything about the team and what she can do for the team. And so the journey with her has been amazing. And then you get another type would be the players we've had emerge. So I was lucky to coach, Spider Beck Allen really young at this club, and hopefully sent her on a really good path. And now she's a WNBA player and a EuroLeague player.
Yeah, it must make you so proud.
Right,
to know that
exactly.
You've had
Or an
impact.
emerging player like Ezzy at her 4th year with the club, and I think that she's an impactful WNBA player, and clearly, the rising superstar of the Opals. So that those parts of it feel really good. So I don't know if I could pick 5.
No,
It's
it was
really
a bit of
tough
a long
one,
shot.
but-
I mean, I was driving in here today thinking, I wonder who is, if you had to pick 5 players that were the best to coach, from different, years and that. But anyway, that was a silly question. But
No, I think it's a great question. But look, some people have really bought into our culture, which is a great thing. So, Kayla George is our current captain.
Yeah.
And I think that her game and her personality was different 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And, for Kayla, she'd been in Susie's shadow in a great club at Townsville. They'd won a couple of championships. Susie was the alpha dog, like she was the leader on that program, and Kayla wanted to emerge as a leader, and to be honest, and I think she would probably admit, well, her leadership skills kind of started at a very basic level, and now she's blossomed so much more into the player and leader that she is for us now.
Well, and I'll just throw this in as we're talking about Kayla. I think the other thing that's really impressed me is how she's evolved off the court as well.
Right.
Like watching her on the court, yes to everything you just said then, but the role that she's taken off the court to be a mentor and help the young kids, and what she did during lockdown with her website and being a place where kids could go and reach out to her, I think was just fabulous. And she's got a little side business, which is obviously, having sponsors like Deakin has been able to help her down that path, make that more professional and come to fruition. But
well, it's the network part of the business that has
which
really,
has really grown, right? The network, you go to those functions before and after, and it's like, wow, there's a dares, and there's, it's the network is huge now. Yeah,
correct. And I think that it's a pathway into some post-career opportunities for some of our players, but there are some real unsung heroes, because you mentioned Kayla and that work that she does, but with one of our charity partners, White Lion, the work, say, Penina Davidson has done to help disadvantaged youth in Melbourne, to roam the streets with them and give kids a helping hand. Food kitchen work. I mean, it's just really profound.
Admirable.
People don't see all that stuff, but that's all part of who we are now, which is amazing.
That's fantastic. And now let's talk about the now. Everyone's getting ready. We kick off in a few days now. Tell us a little bit about your ball club for this year that's going to win you a championship.
Well, a few mantras that we have in terms of recruitment. So we want some continuity, because that's helpful.
Also, let's go through that continuity. You've got Kayla and Tess and
Ezzy
and
Izzy Wright. Penina.
Izzy Wright. I've got to say, I love Izzy Wright. She's just blue collar through and through. Like, when she was thinking about retirement, I was thinking, wow, what a blow that's going to be. Because she's a little Miss Fix-It, you can put her in anywhere.
Right.
And seems like a really good team person as well.
Yeah, a great team person.
Leader.
One of those players who's a leader without needing the title of being a leader, which makes her very valuable for us. Fills in all sorts of little pockets, which glues everyone together, which is really terrific. So, look, we need that character element. So we're in a fortunate situation these days that if somebody's a suspect character or not really a team first type of person, we don't have to recruit them.
Exactly.
We don't need them anymore. And then the third thing is ability, and but it's ability to fit into our game style. And you know yourself that there are 100 different ways you can approach basketball, and our style is about playing in a certain way because we want to move the ball and move players around. So you've got to have pass first people, and I always wanted a shared scoring load. Like I've never been one to coach a team where you've got the leading scorer in the WNBL. My preference has kind of always been if you can get 5 or 6 players that are double figures, I think that does make you a lot harder to guard. And you know, we have that with this group again.
Talk a little bit about your imports.
Yeah, sure.
Tiffany Mitchell and...
Right, well, look, I won't lie and say that COVID didn't really halt our progression, and I know it did for everybody, but I really felt we were impacted by that because the season before COVID was the first, the first time that we went after 2 marquee or WNBA level imports in Lindsay Allen and Sophie Cunningham, and that was a big step for the club. And so now Lindsay Allen's back. Tiffany Mitchell comes in as a 6-year WNBA vet who's been an outstanding player in that league. Started for Indiana on the fringe of Team USA selection. She's been in that squad for a number of years. Dawn Staley, the legend, her college coach. So we've got just 2 marquee WNBA players, and they're going to leave their stamp on the league, but they do it in the Boomers way, which is great. Then 3 players coming out of the Olympics in Ezzy and Kayla and Tess, and after all the drama that surrounded the Opals, I thought all 3 of those players just, you know, wore the green and gold on their sleeve and gave it their all that tournament, and they want to have a great year for the Boomers. And then just some terrific role players in and around that, like we've already mentioned, including just a young Bulleen star and
I was
Lily
waiting
Scanlon.
for that, Lily Scanlon.
Yep.
I'm so happy to see you pick her up from Canberra.
Yep, correct. And you know, it's the WNBL's becoming so good, it's really hard to crack it young.
Yeah.
You know, it's the apprenticeship can be long, put it that way, and we see so many kids still go to college and come back and try and do it through that pathway, and that didn't work for Lily. I mean, she had a crack at Gonzaga and they didn't play her, and so she wanted to come back, and I think she's, you know, landed on her feet here because she gets to train every day head to head with LA.
Exactly,
and you know, at the moment she's getting plenty of opportunity to play and grabbing it with both hands, so I think she'll help.
And Lou Brown.
Lou Brown is an
what can
old,
we expect of Lou?
well, she's an old rookie in the league.
Yeah,
so
she is indeed.
Yep, so ended at Tennessee, so at a real marquee college program. Ended with an ACL injury, and that's always a sad thing for any athlete. And then really had to find confidence again back in her body and find a motivation for the game again. But she's a good, tough player, Lou. And so when one of our last post spot opened up, she was the girl that I wanted to recruit and brought in, and yeah, she's done really well.
And I know it's they normally wouldn't get a mention, but I've had a little bit to do with these young girls, your development players. You've got young Heel and Burrows as development players.
Yep.
How exciting for them to be involved at such a young age. And as you say, you've probably had the discussion about it might take you a while to crack a team, because you just mentioned how it can be a long journey for these young kids to finally get a shoe in the door.
Well, I think that college is, for most, it's their next step. That's what they want to, and they plan for 4 years, right? So they can get an education and a degree. But for us, because we live in the basketball capital of Australia, you know, we want to make sure that a lot of those Vic kids we're having a good look at, and you know, those 2, Charlize Dunn.
Another one. So they go overseas, and then when they come back, they think of the Boomers.
There's a
as
Boomers
their home.
connection. And that's what we're really after doing. But all those kids have certainly got ability, and physically, they're a lot more advanced than a decade ago, where there was really no sports science to speak of in their world. Now they're regularly lifting weights and doing all that kind of stuff at a young age. So when they come into the senior practice, they can hold their own a little bit better. They're just physically fitter and stronger, and their game's still emerging, but you know, they've got the physical tools to cope a bit better.
Well, Guy, thanks so much, and on behalf of everyone, just wishing you the best of luck and hoping for the fairy tale ending to what has been a fantastic 9 years of the heart and soul of Guy Molloy into the Melbourne Boomers. Can't thank you enough.
Thanks, Michelle. Great to talk to you.
And that is all I have for you this evening. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Women Would Drive. Don't forget to catch us this Saturday at 5 p.m. against Southside, either at Dandenong, or you can catch the game on ABC TV, Foxtel, or KO. And then again for our doubleheader on Sunday against Bendigo in Bendigo at 7 p.m. again streamed on KO. I will see you next time. Have a great night.